How's it going, everyone? Got a little bit to talk about in this video. Some updates on Final Fantasy XVI and the Dead Space remake. Two of the biggest games of 2023, and honestly, two of the biggest games of this current generation. We'll talk all about that, and it looks like another PS5 title has been leaked based on a ratings board listing. You guys know the deal. 99.9999999% of times we see something on a ratings board, it does come to fruition. That being Serious Sam, Siberian, Mayhem. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But it was reiterated by Naoki Yoshida that Final Fantasy XVI should be getting an update this month. Yoshi noted, "Is it already October?" Presenter said yes, and he then responded, "I think this month we will release something." So it looks like we will be getting some sort of update on FF16. Honestly, I'm a little bit depressed still that this game is coming out next summer, and I'm thinking that summer could easily become like September, October, just because a big game like a Final Fantasy 16 being released in like June, I don't know, I just don't foresee that happening. And you know, I'm kind of conditioned to expecting Final Fantasy games to get delayed into oblivion. In the case of FF16, I'm a little bit more confident than recent Final Fantasy titles. Like, yeah, I'm honestly traumatized from the Final Fantasy Versus 13 arc into FF15, so like, if we get Final Fantasy 16 anytime in 2023, I should honestly be pretty satisfied, because the game was initially revealed in June of 2020, I believe, and to follow that up with a release in 2023, that's a 3-year window from reveal to release. I feel like, for Final Fantasy standards, man, that's a slam dunk home run. FF15 obviously was a decade. FF7 Remake even was 5 years, so 3-year turnaround period from announcement to release. I find that to be pretty good, and bear in mind, that was during the world going to absolute hell, so I give them a lot of credit for that. And Final Fantasy 16 to me is shaping up very nicely. Like, I like what I'm seeing out of the game. I know some people are disappointed that it isn't going to be a full-blown open world game, but I kind of like the idea of a more streamlined game. I'm not saying go linear as hell like FF13 and then open up the game in the final act or, you know, final couple chapters of the game, but FF16 does look like it's going to be a somewhat more contained experience, which I am completely down for, and so far what I've seen out of the game, I've been really digging, and hopefully, you know, development is going along smoothly, and we'll see something more compelling than FF15. Like, I liked Final Fantasy 15 in some areas, but a big reason I enjoy Final Fantasy is from a narrative standpoint, and I thought FF15 really was weak on that end. And FF16, based on the little information we do know, looks like a grittier, mature story, so we'll see how this one turns out. Again, summer 2023 is the current window. It'd be cool if we just saw like an FF16 release smack dab in the middle of summer, like a July release date, because I believe Final Fantasy in the past, it's always been spring or fall. Like, I remember FF13 came out in like March of 2010. FF15 obviously came out in November of 2016. Yeah, 2016. I believe FF12 was like October. FF10, I believe, was like the fall as well. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Again, a new content update or some sort of update will be coming this month. Hopefully, as Yoshi did note, he said, "I think this month we will release something." So, we'll see how that turns out. Alright, moving on from that, Dead Space Remake is scheduled to get an update later this month as well. Rumored to be getting a brand new gameplay trailer dropping on October 4th, revealed via a puzzle from Motive's studio, and it was pretty interesting how they did it. It was a portion of a QR code. Somebody figured it out, and the QR code took them to an October 4th release teaser for Dead Space Remake. Dead Space Remake is a game I'm incredibly excited for. I know, like, does Dead Space 1 really need a remake? Like, I played Dead Space 1 probably like 3-4 years ago, and it still holds up like decently well. Like, I mean, a game that came out on the PlayStation 3 360 era, I don't think like we are clamoring for a remake out of this game, but this is where it's different for me with Dead Space. First of all, it was 2008, so that was 15 years ago by the time the game comes out, and Dead Space is just a IP that EA was doing nothing with, so whatever gets them off the couch to, you know, greenlight more Dead Space, I will take it. Dead Space 3 left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, and I understand why. It's not like it was a terrible game. Like, Dead Space 3 was okay. Was it as good as Dead Space 1 and 2, and did it have the, you know, mystique of those two games, the appeal of those two games? Absolutely not. Like, Dead Space 1 and 2 were fantastic. Dead Space 3 didn't have that, but I didn't think that was good enough reason to absolutely, you know, disappear on Dead Space as an IP, and now we have a Dead Space 1 remake. It looks like Motive is doing a great job with it, and Motive is a studio that you know, EA is putting, I don't know if EA is putting a lot of pressure on them, but they're putting a lot of trust in them in working on big budget titles. They did Star Wars Squadrons, that turned out pretty well, and now they're working on Dead Space Remake, they're working on other big budget stuff, so hopefully they do a slam dunk job with Dead Space Remake, and hopefully the game does well enough where it'll justify EA continuing to do more Dead Space content. I don't know if we need a Dead Space 2 remake, but you know, I would play that as well. I love Dead Space 2. But, yeah, Dead Space 1 getting a remake. Hopefully it turns out well, and we should get more footage of that here in the coming days, and probably more information later in the month. Remember, this game comes out at the end of January, so the release is not that far off. This was one of those games that was announced, and then, you know, we got a release window and a release date pretty shortly thereafter, and, you know, only waiting a year and a half from an announcement to a release, I find that to be pretty good, and I don't think this is going to be a game that gets delayed, because it seems like it's making pretty smooth progress. So excited for this. Will be interesting to see if there's any comparisons made between Callisto Protocol and the Dead Space remake. Really getting like Infamous Prototype vibes from that, those two games coming out so quickly from one another. But nonetheless, I think there's room for both of them. I think they're both going to do rather well. Lastly, I do want to note, Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem has seemingly been leaked for PlayStation 5 by a ratings board listing. You guys know the deal. Ratings board listings happen, and I would say like almost 100% of the times the games come to fruition. I don't remember the last time an ESRB rating was founded and then the game didn't come to fruition. So there was a 17 plus rating from ESRB that was spotted. The ratings board listing notes this is a first-person shooter in which players assume the role of Serious Sam as he battles alien forces in Siberia. Players use machine guns, shotguns, and rocket launchers to kill alien creatures and mutated humans in frenetic combat. Combat is accompanied by realistic gunfire, large explosions, and screams of pain. You guys get the deal. It's a 17 plus game, M-rated. Game has had a very positive reception on Steam, 2,200 reviews, 92% positive. It is a standalone expansion to the world of Serious Sam, $19.99 price point, and again, pretty solid reception, $19.99. Again, pretty, you know, decent price point for that, given it is just an extension, but it looks like it'll be getting a PlayStation 5 release. Will be interesting to see what other platforms it does ultimately hit. I would imagine Xbox Series as well. The game was released on PC back in January of this year, so a release probably will come pretty quickly if it's already making an ESRB ratings board appearance. But that is going to do it for me. Again, as far as Final Fantasy 16 goes, hopefully we'll be getting some new content for that game later this month. Hopefully a sizable gameplay trailer and maybe a release date. I don't know if they want to announce the release date this far in advance, but if we can get like, I don't know, an early June release date. I don't know, that's 8 months away. We're getting games coming out in May and release dates for that. Obviously, Zelda and FF16 is a big game where you think you would want to get the ball rolling as far as announcing an official release date. Maybe we'll get that. Maybe it'll just be a gameplay trailer. Maybe it'll be a story trailer giving us more insight on that. We'll see. Dead Space Remake is scheduled to get some gameplay here very soon on October the 4th, and Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem looks to have been leaked on PlayStation 5. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.